No? Stand firm with the belt of truth
Wow.
and the breastplate of righteousness, love. And today we're going to talk about the gospel of peace. I'm buzzing. Lauren, I'm buzzing.
We all are.
We're on a high.
Yes.
Lord, thank you for the breakthroughs. I had some breakthroughs this week in my life at work and at home.
Yeah.
And I know y'all all pretty much know what's been going on at work. But I'm going to tell you, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday were very pleasant days for me at work. And they have been far and few between in the last 3-4 months now. But the ladies are actually talking to me. Hey!
Sorry.
Okay, no, I wasn't lying about that. They really are. So when I go in, I say good morning and all. I'm getting responses. And throughout the day,
Breakthrough.
it's a breakthrough,
That's
yeah.
right.
And I asked Mary Kay, I told Mary Kay about the song. Let me tell you how I found it. I was watching Sid Roth. I've been watching him lately ever since you brought him up a while back. And Eddie James was on Sid Roth. Now, I don't know if y'all familiar with Eddie James, but I love the man. You know, we met him at Christian International when we went there a year ago. And, I mean, we were like, we probably sweat off like 5 pounds to his music that day. It was on fire. The place was on fire. I'm telling you, it was really good. And so he was on Sid Roth. So I saw him on Sid Roth and he sang this song. And he had breakthroughs when he wrote the song. God came to him. And Sid Roth said that there will be breakthroughs in your life. Play the song in your house, whatever. And I did. I played it in my house. I sang it in my house. And, you know, I didn't really do all this dancing and all, but I did. And sure enough, the next day there was breakthroughs at work. And then a couple days later, there was breakthroughs in my house. And I was like, wow, this stuff really does work.
Amen.
It does.
Amen.
It seriously
Amen.
does work.
Amen.
So anyway, and so I told Mary Kay about it. So y'all go home, put it on, sing it, shout it, dance it, whatever you got to do in your house, and see some breakthroughs come through in your life. Because I'm a testimony that it does work. It's not just a TV show. You know, a lot of his stuff on there is really good. Anyway, getting back to the shoes of the peace, the gospel of the peace, as it says up there. But y'all got y'all's Bibles open to Ephesians. We're in chapter 6. And we're at, let's see, 6:15. And with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. I have the NIV. The gospel. Look at this. Okay, all right, so here we go again. We're going to look at the shoes. Here's the shoes right here. It says the gospel of peace. The gospel, what's the gospel? Good news, right? What's peace? Jesus. Jesus. So what is the gospel shoes? It's the good news of Jesus. Because he's the Prince of Peace. So in order for us to have this peace, we can't let things disturb us. The Roman soldiers, their shoes were important. And this is how Paul puts it into perspective with the Romans. They actually had sandals. And you really can't tell from that picture. But their shoes were open, so they could get like air and stuff. Something not similar to what Mary Kay wears, but a little bit close to that. So they had an open air design,
Yes, they were all going.
which meant that the soldiers, they could walk up to 25 miles a day. Imagine that, 25 miles a day walking. Okay, y'all? Without getting blisters and fungus on their feet, because their feet were always exposed to air. So they didn't have those problems. Now they did have a piece of metal that was in the bottom that was wrapped with the leather because their sandals were made out of leather, and that would give them their stability to stand up. Under their shoes, depending on what type of terrain they were walking on or marching on or standing on, they had spikes, similar to what athletes wear cleats.
Yeah.
Yes. So you see, they had them way back then. And that would help them hold in place, you know. So they stood tall. What we said last week. Never look tired, never look weary, never bow down, stand firm. And in order for them to do that, they had these sandals that had these spikes on the bottom of them. And depending on where they were, what type of terrain, it would depend on how long. Some of the spikes were up to 3 inches. Imagine. They also could be used as a weapon to kick, too. But on these sandals, up to from their ankles in the front up to their knees was was a metal plate which was called a greave, and that would protect them from being hit, being kicked, being exposed to anything. Because once you take out the legs, the body's going to fall, right? When you hurt the legs or you hurt the feet, you pretty much got them. They down. So they had these greaves that protected their legs and their shins and their ankles and the top of their feet. And when they walked through all this wilderness, if they had to go through the wilderness, they had these thorny bushes, imagine a rose bushes. Who won't walk through the rose bush garden, getting all scratched up and all. These greaves would protect them from all of that. So Paul viewed the shoes as a peace weapon of defense. This was their defense, these shoes that they wore, because it actually protected them. It was more a protective measure than it was a weapon to use against someone. I mean, unless, of course, they would kick them with the spikes, but they used it as protection, so it was their defense. So when you're walking in God's peace, His peace protects us from the things that can hurt us. It's like a protective greave, shielding your mind and your emotions from wounds and fears that could impair your faith. Okay? I was listening to Joyce Myers with Lorna the other day. It was so funny, too, because she's all into Joyce Myers now, and we hear all day long. I hear about her. And so I watched her one day with her, and she was talking about when she first felt peace in her life. She was in her house, and she was walking around, and there wasn't anything, no sounds, nothing. So she went and sat in her recliner, kicked up her recliner, and she says, "Man, this is boring." Why was it boring? Because she had peace in her life? She found that boring? No. There's so much chaos in this world right now that affects us every day, and it comes from us at every angle. I mean, you can't walk out your front door without chaos. Why? Because like the music that we just sang just a little while ago, if we have peace in us, what is the devil trying to do? What does he do? Steal, kill, and destroy. He's trying to steal your peace. How does he steal your peace? He comes through you for Facebook, comes through you on the TV. You got the weatherman telling you that it's a hurricane, and it ain't even a storm yet, okay? So he's stealing your peace from all different angles. So you can't walk out your house and have peace unless you have the peace that God gave us. How did God give us peace?
Amen.
He gave us peace through Jesus, right? Remember, where's that at, Lorna? My peace I give to you. In John. And he gave us his peace because he knew he was going back to the Father. And he wanted us to be protected. So he says, Father, he says, I'm going to give them my peace. How many times in Jesus' life did you see him get disturbed? How many times did you see him fall apart? I don't remember anything.
The only time I was really getting angry
With the money lenders, okay. You're right. But other than that, he walked in peace, correct?
Yes.
Even when he found out his cousin John was beheaded, he walked in peace. Even when the devil was tempting him in the wilderness, he had peace. You see, we have the peace. He gave us the peace. It's our position to rest in the peace and to walk in the peace and to have the peace and to use the peace. Let me tell y'all something. The way people get to me, I'm very emotional. Y'all know that, all right? And the way people get to me is they rattle my cage. As soon as they rattle my cage, there goes my peace. I'm all in chaos now. I'm emotional. I'm saying things I don't want to say. I'm not even thinking anymore. My peace is done. It's left me. It's been disturbed. I can't control it anymore. It's out of control. But I'm going to tell you, this last 2 weeks, I have discovered, and I told Lorna this the other day. I said, I don't know if I'm the right person to be teaching about the armor because it just feels like I'm being attacked all the time. And she says, no, you are the right one to be teaching about the armor because you are the one being attacked.
Exactly.
So you are learning how to use all your defense mechanisms and everything that God gave you to use. So yeah, he is equipping me.
Yep.
And I said, no, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. So I started to read about the peace, the shoes of peace and all of that. The other day I had an incident where the devil tried to steal my peace. He really did. He tried to steal my peace. He came at me from every angle. And I was like, oh, this ain't gonna happen. And I just kind of backed off. I wanted to say something. I wanted to remark. I wanted to get involved. But I said, I'm not going to do that. I just kind of had to walk away because it was temptation. It was coming at me. It was like, come on, Mary, come on. You want to come join this party, aren't you? No, I don't. I don't want to get involved with that. So I walked away from it. And that's what you need to do. In order to, what does it say? Be still, be still. You have to be still. And if you're not still, then you're in the chaos. And that's where he wants you. Devil wants you in the chaos. Because once he's got you in the chaos, your mind is going to town. And let me tell you, this world, you listen to people on TV, you listen to other people's. We're so busy now that we don't have time for time. Okay?
That's right.
Why? Because the enemy is making it that way. Because he knows that when we are still and we rest in God, we can defeat him, right?
That's right.
But once we're in his chaotic world, he's defeated us, right? See, Jesus he already got the victory for us. The victory's already been had. He's got it. We just got to keep it. And in order for us to keep it, we have to stay out of it. We have to stay out of the chaos. So, whenever the enemy's coming at you, sickness, like in your mama, sickness in your mother, things happening with Alexandra, you know what? Don't react. Don't react. Don't get excited. Step back. Look at the big picture. Don't get excited. And once you learn how to do that, you can control the peace in your life. Because you have it. It's inside of you. Remember, he gave it to you. When the peace of God is ruling in your life, you can walk through those thorny situations that the enemy devises to destroy you, your family, your business, your health, and all those you love. And remember, we have our greaves on, right? So we can go through those thorny situations. During those times, you wake up and realize, I'm going through some tough times and I've never had more joy. You seem to have total peace because the peace of God is keeping the peace. The peace of God is keeping the peace in your life.
Amen.
So what comes along with your peace? It's joy. It's not happiness, it's joy. I mean, I can't tell you when I first discovered what joy was, because I always thought joy was happiness, right? I wanted something. I wanted that big old piece of chocolate cake, and I was happy, right? But was that joy? No. Because I knew that chocolate cake, I shouldn't have been eating it in the first place, right? So no, that wasn't joy. It was happiness. It was quick fix, right? Right? How many things do you know in your life that you get instant gratification from? That's good for you. Think about that. Everything that comes instantly that feels good is not good, shouldn't be in your life. All right? Shouldn't be in your life. God gives us supernatural peace to firmly plant our feet on the ground. His peace enables us to say, regardless of what I see, what I hear, I'm not moving. I don't care how hard it gets. The peace of God keeps me here, and I'm not moving until the work of God in this area of my life is finished. So stay grounded. Stay firm in the ground, in the soil of the Lord. And he also viewed the shoes as an offensive weapon. Why is it an offensive weapon? Well, because we're supposed to take the peace, the gospel, the good message, to others, right? You walk into a situation and there's nothing but chaos, right? I remember a good message too from Kenneth Copeland about how the devil tried to steal his peace one time, and he just took his time calmly about the whole situation, prayed on it, and then when he got where he was supposed to go, he dealt with it, and miracles happened. But I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, what I was saying is that when you go to others, like say you walk into a room and there's nothing but chaos, right? If you have discernment, you know something's not right, something's wrong, right? Don't join in that chaos. You need to bring in the peace, right? So if somebody's in there and is like, oh, I just found out I'm sick, I got this, I got that. Well, you don't just pat them on the back and say, well, how long do you have to live? You don't join in on that party. No, you start talking the message. You start giving them the message. You start telling them about God and peace. Stop declaring those words, okay? And so you bring them the peace because they need peace in their lives. to carry the gospel to others, to be preached to all nations. In order to preach the gospel of peace, one must have peace. You can't bring peace if you don't have it. But you have it. You just got to learn how to use it, right? So don't try to bring peace into somebody else's chaos if you don't have it in you. Because all you're doing is putting fuel on their fire. In John 14:27, we see Jesus gives us peace. The same peace he had while he was here. He never let anything the enemy could attack him with and disturb his peace. We have that same peace. You need to bring it to others. Therefore, you must plant your feet firmly in the soil of God's word, and by faith, with the shoes of peace fitted on us, let's press on and arrive at our goal and finish a good race.
Amen.
Fulfill your destiny.
Amen.
Don't let the enemy steal your destiny. Mary Kay can tell you she's got some good teachings on that coming up soon. I have some scriptures on peace. And I'm cutting it short because I know what time it is. But I have some scriptures on peace. And the first one I have is Isaiah 52:7. How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news and proclaim peace. Romans 16:20. The God of peace will soon crush Satan under your feet. 1 Samuel 1:17. Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him. And I got some more. Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. So let's all go and be peacemakers, y'all. Acts 10:36, Romans 15:13, Philippians 4:7, Philippians 4.
Go back. Go back to Matthew 5:9, please.
Acts 10:36. You know the message God sent to the people of Israel, telling good news of peace through Jesus Christ. Well, guess what? He can tell the good news through you as one of his disciples.
That's right.
Okay?
Amen.
All right? Okay, guys? Got this, huh? Let's be peacemakers. Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all the joy and peace as you trust in him,
Yes.
so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Okay? Philippians 4:7. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Jesus Christ. 4:9, Philippians. Whatever you have learned, received, or heard from me, or seen in me, put into practice.
Yes.
And the God of peace will be with you.
Yes, Lord.
So today,
Thank you.
now that we have another part of our outfit, it's the shoes of peace. As we go through this week, let us walk in peace.
Yes.
Let us bring peace to others. Let us not let the devil tempt us, torment us, try to steal, kill, or destroy our peace.
Come on.
Okay?
Amen.
Thank
Amen.
you
Wait a
all
minute.
for this
Hold up,
message. Thank
Hold up. We got one more. Colossians 3:15.
3:15. All right, let me get there.
Just go through each one that you went through so fast. Just say what the.
All right, hold on. Let's go to Colossians 3:15 real quick. Okay. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace,
There you
and
go.
be thankful.
There you go.
And peace is supposed to be the umpire,
And peace is the umpire.
settling with finality all questions that arise.
That's in Colossians.
Colossians 3:15.
Everybody has a flight to catch, right?
I know, why
Can
you
you just, say those scriptures?
Okay.
Don't even read them, just tell us.
Isaiah 52:7. There's tons of peace scriptures. These are the ones that stood out to me.
Right.
52:7 Isaiah.
Oh, wait, 50. Yeah.
Romans 16:20. 1 Samuel 1:17. Matthew 5:9. Acts 10:36, which is one of my favorites. Romans 15:13. Philippians 4:7. Philippians 4:9. Mary Kay just added Colossians 3:15.
That's big, because you gotta have peace in your heart when you're trying to make a decision about something.
That's
You
right.
gotta have peace,
Yeah.
then that's the Lord telling you don't do it.
Yeah.
And if you override that, you're gonna be in a mess.
But you know, it's a given fact that if you're around people and
you're peaceful or joyful with them, they're gonna jump on.
Yeah. it is
If they're not, they're gonna leave the room. 'Cause it takes two to be peaceful, it takes two to argue, or two or more, or whatever.
Well, you can bring peace. You know, it's funny that you said that. You remember when y'all told me y'all went to East Jefferson last week or something like that? You can bring peace and healing and not say one word.
That's correct. That's
You
correct.
can.
That's
You can
correct.
just walk through a building,
That's
and
right.
Jesus did that. He did.
That's
He
right.
brought peace and healing.
That's right.
But you can walk through the building,
Amen.
and you don't have to say one word, and people can feel it,
Yes.
and they can be healed.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
Because the healing does start with peace. You have to have peace inside in order for the healing to
That's
start.
right.
Because if you don't have peace and you keep thinking and worrying about stuff, then your healing is never going to take place.
That's right.
And that's all for the helmet. But I'm not going to give you.
Dis-ease.
Uh-huh.
Dis-ease.
This ease. Yeah, you're not at ease. There's no peace. So, I mean, unless you want me to go into the face shield, which is a little bit more in depth, you know, I bid you all shalom.
I like that.
Did it,
But I thought it was good. I mean, you went into detail of
you
what
know
it
what you
really
did? You
is.
did like Joyce Meyer, you used just a few minutes and you got a lot done.
That's right.
Exactly, and that's all we
That was
really
good.
need
That was
to do.
good.
All right, well, I wanted to,
That's good, man.
good job, Mary. I wanted us to be established in worship today because like I said, this is the month that they fell into idol worship with the golden calf. Because they were full of fear, they did not have peace, Moses was missing, they didn't think he was coming back, they had no trust. Okay, and without peace, you can't have trust.
That's
And
right.
trust is key to faith. We gotta know, gotta have to have confidence in who he is. Amen. All right, I didn't expect you to blow through that like you did. But let me just say one thing. Did y'all like that Holy Fire song?
Yeah.
Was that awesome?
Yeah, yeah.